Do you think that there are artists who could have been bigger if they would have
Always
made different decisions with different partners?
Wow, that's everybody. Let's talk about risk and appetite when it comes to artists. What are the type of artists that STEM is looking at to do business with? What is the things that you're looking at? We're like, that's exciting.
It's, like I said earlier, it sort of depends on if there's a point of view from someone on the team, because an artist that was exciting to us 6 months ago could be different today.
So let me ask this question. Even before that,
it's so contextual,
right? But before that, how does that artist get noticed, right? Because obviously you don't know what that point of view is until you actually speak to them.
Correct.
So what
are
gets
they doing?
them noticed? Yeah,
they're doing something, right? They're making great music. They're really consistent and clear in their storytelling is often the thing. And that storytelling could come in the form of the music itself. Because not all artists should be on social media. And we've worked with a bunch that don't even touch it, right? And they're successful. So they just are so consistent in their storytelling in the way they communicate with their fans. And that could be through touring, that could be through their live shows, that could be through their music only, that could be through socials, but it's resonating and there's a community that's forming. And we have a point of view on how to expand that. It's as simple as that.
Simple as that. You just said something kind of controversial. You said not every artist should be on socials.
Correct.
Okay, what do you mean?
Because it may not be their format. Like music.
So how does somebody get recognized? Just putting the music out there?
We have files that are sent to us. So this is way before STEM existed, but I've known the Laney guys since before they ever put music out publicly. And it's because a manager, who's now their manager, Rupert, was at William Morris, and he got to know my husband really well. And he just played the music for him, came into his office, played the music, and we got to meet the guys. And when you meet Paul and Jake and that whole crew, you realize that, like, oh, these guys are like hell or high water going to make it. They just carry, in essence, they have such a strong identity of what they want to be. They have such a good way of articulating it. And they may not know all the ways to get there, but that's not their job. That's your job.
Right.
Either as a distributor or the manager.
And when you meet an artist like that, you know.
You just know.
No.
So, like, was there any social media? No, they never put out music. We just heard it. We got to know them. And you just, like, you get that feeling, right?
Right.
And there's a kid out there right now who I stalked at Stagecoach because I saw his stuff on social media.
Who's that?
I'm not going to say.
Oh, shit. Okay.
And
yeah, tell me off camera.
He'll watch this and he'll know who he is.
Okay.
And I think he has all the things that are there to make him a huge star.
Okay.
And I'm seeing him and his team work really hard and being really innovative and figuring out ways to post the same song 50 different times on social media in 50 different ways. And it's starting to slowly build an audience.
Okay.
And I'm like, dude, let me and my team get in there and help you because I see all the things that you're not doing.
Right.
And like, there's people that were so aggressive. And like, at some point you kind of just like sit back and you're like, I'm here when you want it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try to watch you figure it out yourself. And maybe you'll get there on your own and maybe you won't. But like, there's also people who are all over social media and like really working hard against it. And like, either we want to sign them or we don't. And like, the answer is it just depends on, do we have the capacity for you? Is there someone that has room in their brain and in their heart to be in there with you at that time?
Yeah.
And it could be the right artist at the wrong time. Perfect example of that is Dominic Fike. We passed on that project.
Okay.
No one had the capacity for it.
Gotcha.
And like at the time, we had so many people request, like we had hundreds of releases being sent to us a day from new artists to listen to. Like we couldn't get through it and we didn't have the mental capacity to sit with the music to fully understand it.
Of course. I mean, after you listen to 30 new records, everything sounds the same.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah.
So it's like we didn't have the capacity for it, right?
Yeah.
And so that's why I say, like, there's not like a perfect science to it. It's like you either know or you don't. And it could be a yes from one person on our team and a no from another. And it doesn't matter because if that person who says yes from one side and they really want it and they're willing to do the work, we're going to let them sign it.
All right, everybody, we're going to take a little break. Because if you're listening and thinking, fuck, I could really use some guidance right now, and you're serious about building your career in the music industry, I'm now offering private strategy sessions. These are fully personalized, just you and me tackling whatever you need in your career. With over 16 years of experience working with artists, managers, and brands, I can help you map out your next moves. Now, whether that's structuring your team, scaling your brand, navigating the industry, even figuring out what steps to take, whether to go to a distributor or to a record label and figuring out what are the best deal points, I can help you with your career with where you're at. You can now book a one-on-one with me through my Calendly, and you can find the link in the description. Now let's get back to the pod. You know what I find? That when artists and managers don't really want to do a deal and you're saying, listen, we can help you with all these things that you're not doing, I just feel like it comes down to, most of the times, I'm not saying all the time, and I don't know who you're talking about. It feels like they are uninformed, don't have the capacity to understand what's going on, or don't have the knowledge. Not that they don't have the capacity. Everybody has the capacity, but they don't have the knowledge. And sometimes I find that they're afraid.
But knowledge is part of capacity.
Yes. Okay, so then what it really comes down to is I think there's just a fear to not be seen as if they don't know.
Maybe. I think in this case, and this may be only this case, I think they're just getting so much inbound from interest from everyone, and everyone is saying the same thing, and they just don't know how to really read through what's real and what's not. And
that's a capacity issue, but you got to be able to.
It could be capacity, or it could just be like they're too scared to make a move, so they're just going to keep doing it
themselves. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not going to tell you how to do your business. You're not asking me for my opinion, but because I'm going to have an opinion.
Yeah, tell me.
I just say you keep going and you keep trying to figure out how to communicate to these people and sit down and talk to them. Because when we were trying to figure it out, what we appreciated is the check-ins. How you doing? How's everything going? You okay? Do you need anything? Let me fly you out over here. Let me just do this over here.
Yeah.
Those kind of things. And then, yes, it is courting. We understand that. But at the end of the day, I want to be courted by somebody who wants to be with me for the long term.
Yeah. Not just the hot second.
Yeah, exactly. And you can, and to the artist and manager who's out there and dealing with this, take your fucking time. But ask all the questions in the world so you can get the answers.
Totally. And take all the free advice and all the attention.
Yeah,
while
exactly.
You can.
Exactly.
You absolutely should be doing that.
You should be doing that at every single case. And not every deal is for everybody. You can continue doing it.
Totally.
Right? But you were going to say something, sorry.
I think what you're also pointing to is that everyone's willing to chase for a certain amount of time, right? And the question is that I think...
Great point.
I don't have the answer to. And I'm curious what you think here is there an expiration date?
On?
Is there a point in which it might be too late to pick the partner because you've already made so many mistakes or you've gone too far without someone helping you?
Yes. Well,
like you've missed your moment.
Yes and no. So I don't think that it's necessarily that there's an expiration date and nobody's going to come. Mm-hmm. But the deal will look different. Mm-hmm. The terms will look different. The people might look different. You don't really know these individuals either at the end of the day. And we're humans, right? So on the other side, there is somebody that wants to do business with you. And if you don't want to do business with them, they'll be like, all right, go fuck yourself, whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And that happens as you progress. But if they really want to be in bed with you, so to speak, they'll figure it out, and they'll take their time, But you can't, as an artist and a manager, you can't string people along.
Right.
And you have to, I think you have to be very intentional with your time. You have to be very intentional with the communication. You always have to be communicating. Because sometimes a manager and an artist that could be very hot, they also limit themselves by not communicating to anybody.
Right. Do you think that there are artists who could have been bigger if they would have made different decisions with different partners?
Wow, that's everybody.
Right.
That's everybody. Which artist isn't thinking right now at the highest levels, if I just made this decision, I would have been much bigger right now?
Right. And that could be a fallacy in itself.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? You're going to go through these levels of imposter syndrome the entire career.
In any job you do.
In any job that you do.
Right.
I was talking about this with my girlfriend the other day, and it's just like what we think imposter syndrome is. And, I heard this, and I'm going to butcher it, but it was like one of these ideas of like, I belong in this room. The only reason that you have imposter syndrome is because you feel like you belong in the room and you really want to be a part of this room. You really want to be a part of this club. That's the only thing that's stopping you. And then she had a different perspective of what that looked like. I always think that, going back to that question, can artists be bigger? Let me ask you this. Do you feel like when you start to get to understand the business of the artist, you can pinpoint, oh, that's why it didn't work?
No.
Okay.
Because again, I wasn't there along the whole way to see everything, right? Because we have assumptions.
Right.
And there's no way to validate it.
Right.
I'm always intrigued by a lot of these new commentators on social media, and I don't want to call them influencers, but they're people who are breaking down the strategies behind certain artists that weren't part of the team. They're sort of looking from the outside or saying like, hey, this is the brand story that this artist is telling now, and this is why Sabrina Carpenter was nothing until she revamped her brand, and now it's this and this, right? And I'm always like, that's an interesting take, but like, I don't know if that's actually what happened.
That's interesting that you say that, because I hear what you're saying, and I agree. It sounds very believable, but you never know at the end of the day. Yeah, it's true. There's so many different ways where something could break, and that's also the difficulty of when you are an artist and you're trying to go and sign to your major where your favorite artist is at. You're like, yeah, I'm like that artist, right? I understand. You guys understand how this is done, but it's like, no, there's a sauce there that is hard to explain.
There's also happy accidents.
Yeah.
Like sometimes the thing that you don't think will work.
Did you get this understanding of artists better when you were at UTA as a digital agent at the age of 21? Which is wild, by the way, that you were an agent.
I can't believe anyone gave me that job. I still think everyone who did give me that job regrets it.
I don't think so. I don't know. I mean, you brought in Issa Rae, right?
I didn't bring her in, no. She was brought in by the comedy group, and I was there to help figure out how to get her business growing on YouTube so that then they had something to sell into other medias.
I see.
Yeah.
And that's where you started kind of identifying some of the issues? Not necessarily with her.
Yeah, no, not with her. It was through working with artists that were straddling the worlds of traditional media and digital media that I started to see what was missing effectively, right?
Got you.
But did I get that perspective? You know what? I think I really resonate with them through my journey as being an entrepreneur more than anything. Because when you're an artist, you're an entrepreneur.
Wow, I would have never thought that. People think that's two different
No, it's so similar because you're iterating through driving attention to what you've created, right? Like, how do you go to market? It's the same for a tech company building a new product and offering as it is for an artist promoting their music. How do you iterate through whether or not this thing resonates? It's through a song or iterations of songs that you're putting out there to see what's going to land, what's going to resonate. And that's why they call it a product. Your song, unfortunately, it's art, but it's also a product. Same with what STEM is a technical product and a service offering. It's a product. You're going to iterate through it until it resonates and until people are attracted to it. The self-doubting, the questioning, the building a team, knowing what are all the roles and the jobs to be done and who are the right people for the right seats, and learning through failure of hiring the wrong people or partnering with the wrong people and mismanaging expectations and all of that. And the benefit that I've had is that I've had the resources to make a lot of mistakes, to learn from them, and still come out on top. Artists don't always get that level of investment. They don't always get that, right?
How did you create that, though?
Create what?
The opportunities to continue to make the mistakes, but still learn from those mistakes. Like, how are you?
I don't know. We had just enough right to get the right to keep going and to get more investment. But we didn't clearly have all of it right? We're not as big as we could be or we should be. And part of the next chapter with Concord is proving that with the right resourcing and the right investment, we can be much bigger.
Is that a fallacy in itself, though?
I don't think so.
Because you're saying much bigger, but when you get to that place, do you think, well, where's the next Mount Everest?
To me, sure. Yes, probably, right? The target will continue to move.
Yeah.
But for us, like, we lost a lot of the clients that we had because we didn't have the capital to retain them or to keep investing in them and be the place that could continue their growth. And if we would have held on to even half of them, we'd probably be like the third largest music company by now. Just because of the track record of the artists we've worked with and we've had the privilege of being a platform for.
Insane. I'm going to say it, and one that you don't want to say it seems like I'll say it, but one of them is Frank Ocean.
Yes, we've worked with Frank.
Yes.
But also a plethora of other exciting.
Yeah.
But so is like Mark Ambor and Chappell Roan and Tucker Wetmore, and the list goes on and on from even the last year. Nikki York, like when we look
you did work with Chappell?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
In between her stints at Interscope and at Island.
Wow.
We put out Pink Pony Club, Phenomenon.
Was it Interscope or was it I think it was Atlantic.
It was Atlantic and then Island.
And then Island, not Interscope. Yeah, okay, gotcha.
We were in between that when she was working with State of the Art.
Also shifting culture, like she's like absolutely
totally.
Yeah.
But there's a ton of artists that we've been really lucky to be their launching pad. And some have been loyal, like Brent Baez, and some have jumped around and come back. And some were really great early on, and we're really proud to see how they've grown and matured, and we're happy for the homes they're at now. We wish we could have provided the right environment for them to stay, but that's part of this next chapter for us, and that's the challenge, is like, can we not just be a launching pad? Can we actually be a long-term home and a long-term partner? Great. And that's exciting.